While the Chinamaxxing movement began in China, its influence is gradually spreading to American youth who are seeking new ways to improve themselves in a world full of distractions and missed opportunities. American youth don't just imitate blindly, they integrate the philosophy of this movement with their own culture, intense focus on physical health, peak productivity, and the ability to master mind and body to reach their full potential. Here, Chinamaxxing becomes more than just a cultural trend. It reflects the ambitions of an entire generation striving for personal excellence in the age of speed. In recent years, a new term has emerged on social media platforms in the United States known as Chinamaxxing. This trend reflects a growing interest in both contemporary and traditional Chinese culture, especially among Generation Z. It is no longer just about casually watching a show or listening to a song. It has evolved into a broader admiration that includes language, fashion, martial arts, and even lifestyle choices. The term spread rapidly through short-form videos, where users share their experiences embracing habits or aesthetics inspired by Chinese culture, turning it into a widely discussed online phenomenon. This movement is closely tied to young people's desire to explore new cultural identities beyond the traditional Western framework. With easy access to global content through the internet, discovering Chinese entertainment has become simple and immediate. Many users say their interest began with watching a historical or modern Chinese drama, which then grew into a deeper curiosity about music, language, and cuisine. This cultural exploration reflects a shift in content consumption, where culture is no longer confined by geography but flows freely across borders. Platforms like TikTok and YouTube have played a central role in spreading this trend. Influencers post short videos explaining Chinese words, showcasing outfits inspired by traditional Hanfu clothing, or demonstrating Tai Chi-inspired exercises. This visually engaging content has transformed the concept into a large-scale digital wave. With every viral video, more users join the conversation, increasing the trend's visibility within algorithms and amplifying its reach across diverse online communities. One of the key reasons behind the popularity of Chinamaxxing is the search for uniqueness. Young audiences constantly look for ways to stand out from mainstream trends. After years of widespread interest in Korean and Japanese pop culture in the West, some users began seeking a different cultural destination and found China to be a fresh area of exploration. This does not necessarily replace other cultural interests but expands the spectrum of global curiosity and engagement. Notably, this trend goes beyond entertainment and extends into interest in Chinese history and philosophy. Some content creators dedicate videos to explaining ideas such as Confucianism and other Eastern philosophies and how they influence lifestyle perspectives. This educational dimension has given the trend additional depth, allowing followers to feel that they are gaining meaningful knowledge rather than simply consuming fleeting entertainment. However, the trend has also sparked debates about the line between cultural appreciation and cultural appropriation. Some argue that adopting elements from another culture should involve respect and contextual understanding of its historical and social background. Others see cultural exchange as a natural outcome of digital globalization. The debate itself has fueled further attention, as controversy often drives curiosity and conversation online. From an economic perspective, certain brands have benefited from the growing interest. Online fashion retailers have introduced clothing inspired by traditional Chinese aesthetics, while searches for Asian beauty products have increased. This demonstrates how a digital trend can evolve into commercial opportunities, especially when supported by an enthusiastic and engaged audience. Chinese American communities in the United States have also played an important role in shaping the conversation. Some creators of Chinese heritage have welcomed the renewed interest in their culture, seeing it as an opportunity to educate others about authentic traditions. Others have emphasized the importance of avoiding stereotypes and misrepresentations. This cross-cultural dialogue has added nuance and balance to the broader discussion. Socially, Chinamaxxing reflects a shift in the sources of inspiration for young Americans. Cultural influence is no longer one-directional but increasingly multi-directional. Just as American culture has influenced the world for decades, today we witness reciprocal exchanges that highlight a more interconnected global society. Such interactions may foster deeper mutual understanding between different communities. One of the strongest driving forces behind the rise of Chinamaxxing in the United States is the growing popularity of Chinese dramas. Over the past few years, streaming platforms and social media clips have introduced American audiences to high-quality historical epics, romantic series, and fantasy productions from China. These shows often feature elaborate costumes, intricate storylines, and emotionally rich performances that captivate viewers. For many young Americans, a single viral clip on TikTok becomes the gateway to binge-watching entire series, sparking a deeper fascination with Chinese storytelling traditions. Historical dramas, in particular, have captured widespread attention. Their visually stunning sets, detailed period costumes, and themes of honor, loyalty, and destiny create an immersive viewing experience. Unlike many Western productions, these dramas often unfold slowly, allowing characters and relationships to develop with emotional intensity. This storytelling style feels refreshing to viewers seeking something different from fast-paced Hollywood narratives, offering a new rhythm and aesthetic that stands out in the crowded entertainment landscape. Fantasy and wuxia series have also played a significant role. With their mythical creatures, martial arts sequences, and epic quests, these shows blend action with philosophical undertones. The combination of visually impressive special effects and deeper moral lessons resonates strongly with younger audiences. Clips of dramatic fight scenes or heartfelt confessions frequently go viral, encouraging viewers to explore the full series and engage in online discussions about plot twists and character arcs. Romantic dramas have contributed equally to the trend's expansion. Many viewers describe Chinese romance series as emotionally intense and sincere, often emphasizing long-term devotion and personal sacrifice. This portrayal of love contrasts with some Western portrayals that prioritize independence over partnership. As a result, fans create reaction videos, edits, and commentary content, amplifying the visibility of these series and attracting even more curious viewers. Streaming accessibility has been a key factor in this cultural shift. International platforms now offer subtitles in multiple languages, making Chinese dramas more accessible than ever before. Viewers no longer face language barriers that once limited cross-cultural media exchange. With just a few clicks, audiences can discover entire libraries of content, allowing the trend to grow organically through recommendation algorithms and word-of-mouth sharing. Fan communities have emerged as powerful engines of engagement. Online forums, Discord groups, and social media hashtags connect viewers who analyze episodes, share cultural explanations, and recommend similar shows. These communities create a sense of belonging, turning casual viewers into dedicated fans. Participation often goes beyond watching, as fans learn basic Mandarin phrases or research historical contexts to better understand the narratives they enjoy. The visual aesthetic of Chinese dramas has also influenced fashion and creative expression. Flowing Hanfu garments, elegant hairstyles, and traditional accessories inspire cosplay, themed photoshoots, and style experimentation. Short-form video platforms showcase transformations where users dress in drama-inspired outfits, blending entertainment with personal creativity. This visual adoption strengthens the overall Chinamaxxing identity as more than just media consumption. Music from these dramas further deepens the connection. Original soundtracks often feature poetic lyrics and orchestral compositions that evoke nostalgia and emotional depth. Fans frequently share translated lyrics or create playlists dedicated to their favorite shows. The music becomes a bridge that extends the viewing experience beyond the screen, embedding cultural elements into daily life. Critics note that while enthusiasm is growing, viewers should remain mindful of cultural context. Understanding the historical and philosophical foundations behind certain themes enriches appreciation and prevents superficial interpretations. Many content creators now include educational segments explaining traditions, etiquette, or symbolism depicted in the dramas, adding a thoughtful layer to the trend. As the Chinamaxxing trend continues to grow in the United States, one of its most meaningful effects has been the rising interest in learning Mandarin Chinese. What begins as fascination with dramas, music, or fashion often evolves into curiosity about the language itself. For many young Americans, learning Mandarin feels like unlocking a deeper layer of cultural understanding. Language transforms passive admiration into active engagement, allowing fans to connect more authentically with the content they love. Social media has played a powerful role in making Mandarin learning feel accessible and exciting. Short-form videos break down simple phrases, common greetings, or popular expressions heard in dramas. Creators often pair lessons with humor, storytelling, or relatable scenarios. This informal, entertaining approach reduces the intimidation many people feel toward learning a language perceived as difficult, encouraging more users to give it a try. Pronunciation challenges, especially tones, have become a frequent topic of discussion. Mandarin's tonal system is very different from English, and learners often share their mistakes publicly in a lighthearted way. These videos create a sense of shared experience and normalize the learning process. Instead of fearing embarrassment, participants celebrate progress, turning vulnerability into community bonding. Language apps and online platforms have also benefited from the trend. Many users report downloading language learning tools after being inspired by a favorite show or influencer. Study streaks, vocabulary challenges, and daily practice routines become part of the online narrative. Some creators document their progress over months, motivating followers to stay consistent and committed. Beyond vocabulary, learners often explore cultural context. Understanding idioms, poetic expressions, or historical references from dramas enhances appreciation of storytelling. This deeper study encourages respect for the richness of Chinese linguistic heritage. For some, the journey extends into reading classical poetry or examining the symbolism behind Chinese characters. University enrollment in Chinese language courses has also experienced renewed attention in certain regions. Students see practical value in developing Mandarin skills for future careers in business, diplomacy, or technology. The trend thus intersects with long-term professional aspirations, blending cultural curiosity with strategic planning for a globalized job market. Online language exchange communities have flourished as well. American learners connect with native Mandarin speakers for conversation practice, often through video calls or messaging apps. These exchanges create cross-cultural friendships and provide real-time exposure to authentic speech patterns. The human connection behind language learning strengthens the emotional dimension of the trend. Parents and educators have taken notice of this growing enthusiasm. Some schools are expanding Mandarin programs, while families encourage bilingual development at younger ages. Exposure to another language is increasingly viewed as an advantage in an interconnected world. What began as a social media trend gradually influences educational priorities and long-term planning. Of course, challenges remain. Mandarin requires dedication, consistent practice, and patience. However, the supportive atmosphere created by online communities helps learners stay motivated. Seeing others progress step by step reinforces the idea that fluency is achievable with persistence. The shared journey reduces isolation and fosters resilience. Food has emerged as one of the most tangible and enjoyable dimensions of the Chinamaxxing movement in the United States. After discovering Chinese dramas, music, and fashion online, many young Americans become curious about the cuisine itself. Social media platforms are filled with food reviews, cooking tutorials, and restaurant recommendations that introduce audiences to authentic Chinese dishes. Through visuals of steaming dumplings and colorful stir-fries, viewers are invited to experience culture not just intellectually, but through taste and sensory exploration. Short-form cooking videos have played a central role in spreading interest. Creators demonstrate how to prepare popular dishes step by step, often simplifying complex recipes for beginners. These videos highlight ingredients like soy sauce, ginger, garlic, and chili oil, explaining their importance in flavor balance. As viewers attempt these recipes at home, they gain a deeper appreciation for culinary traditions and techniques passed down through generations. Regional diversity within Chinese cuisine has become a frequent topic of discussion. Influencers explain the differences between Sichuan's bold, spicy flavors and Cantonese cuisine's lighter, delicate taste profiles. This educational approach challenges the outdated assumption that Chinese food is monolithic. By exploring regional specialties, audiences recognize the vast culinary richness that exists within one nation. Food tasting videos, often filmed in local Chinese restaurants, attract millions of views. Reviewers share their honest reactions to dishes such as hot pot, hand-pulled noodles, and soup dumplings. Their enthusiasm encourages followers to visit nearby restaurants and try these meals themselves. In this way, digital curiosity translates into real-world economic support for local businesses. The popularity of hot pot gatherings has increased among friend groups seeking social dining experiences. Videos show groups cooking together at the table, choosing broths and dipping sauces while chatting. This interactive style of dining appeals to younger generations who value communal experiences. It transforms eating into a shared cultural ritual rather than a solitary activity. Street food culture has also gained traction online. Clips featuring crispy scallion pancakes, skewered meats, and bubble tea capture attention with their vibrant visuals and satisfying textures. These sensory-rich videos stimulate viewers' appetites and curiosity. For many, the first exposure to these foods happens through a smartphone screen before transitioning into in-person experiences. Chinese American creators have contributed significantly by sharing family recipes and cultural stories connected to specific dishes. Their narratives often emphasize heritage, migration, and adaptation. This personal storytelling adds emotional depth to the culinary trend, reminding viewers that food represents identity, memory, and tradition. Grocery store tours showcasing Asian markets have become another popular content format. Creators walk through aisles explaining unfamiliar ingredients and suggesting beginner-friendly products. These guides reduce hesitation and empower viewers to experiment in their own kitchens. The accessibility of ingredients plays a key role in sustaining culinary curiosity. At the same time, conversations about authenticity and respect continue. Some emphasize supporting small businesses and understanding cultural origins rather than reducing dishes to viral spectacles. These discussions encourage mindful participation and highlight the importance of honoring traditions while enjoying them. As the Chinamaxxing movement expands in the United States, martial arts and traditional wellness practices have gained renewed visibility. Many young Americans, inspired by Chinese historical dramas and action sequences, become curious about the real-life disciplines behind the choreography. What begins as admiration for cinematic fight scenes often evolves into research about ancient practices such as Kung Fu and Tai Chi. This shift from screen to practice reflects a desire for deeper cultural engagement. Short-form videos showcasing martial arts demonstrations regularly go viral. Slow-motion clips of precise movements, balanced stances, and synchronized breathing create a sense of discipline and artistry. Viewers are drawn to the combination of strength and elegance. Unlike purely competitive sports content, these demonstrations often highlight philosophy, mindfulness, and inner balance alongside physical skill. Tai Chi, in particular, has attracted interest among audiences seeking wellness and stress relief. Influencers describe it as both a gentle workout and a meditative experience. Videos filmed in parks or natural landscapes emphasize calmness and focus. In a fast-paced digital world, this slower rhythm appeals to individuals searching for mental clarity and emotional grounding. Kung Fu schools in some American cities report increased inquiries from younger students who discovered martial arts through social media. Classes emphasize discipline, respect, and consistent practice. Students often share their training progress online, turning personal development into motivating content for others. This visibility encourages additional participation. Beyond combat techniques, philosophical teachings associated with martial arts have sparked curiosity. Concepts such as harmony, patience, and resilience resonate strongly with audiences navigating modern challenges. Creators frequently explain how these principles apply not only in training but also in daily life, adding depth to the trend. Traditional wellness practices, including breathing exercises and simple meditation routines, also circulate widely. Tutorials guide viewers through short sessions designed to reduce anxiety or improve posture. These practices feel accessible because they require minimal equipment and can be done at home. Their practicality strengthens their appeal. Cultural education accompanies many of these videos. Instructors and historians explain the origins of specific movements or styles, ensuring that interest remains respectful and informed. This educational approach helps viewers understand the historical context behind what they are learning, reducing the risk of superficial imitation. Collaborations between martial artists from different backgrounds have further amplified engagement. Cross-training sessions and cultural exchange events are frequently documented online. These collaborations symbolize global connection, showing how traditional practices can unite communities rather than divide them. At the same time, some voices caution against romanticizing martial arts purely for aesthetic appeal. They emphasize commitment, discipline, and years of dedication required to master these skills. Acknowledging the effort behind the art fosters greater respect among newcomers and reinforces authenticity. One of the most decisive forces behind the rapid spread of the Chinamaxxing movement in the United States is the power of social media algorithms. Platforms like TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube are designed to promote content that generates strong engagement. When a user interacts with a single video related to Chinese dramas, music, or fashion, the algorithm quickly responds by recommending similar content. This creates a personalized stream that reinforces curiosity and deepens interest within a short period of time. The For You page model has played a particularly significant role. Unlike older social media systems that relied heavily on follower networks, modern algorithms prioritize user behavior. A simple pause on a video, a like, or a comment signals interest. As a result, even users with no prior exposure to Chinese culture can suddenly find themselves immersed in a series of related videos that gradually build awareness and enthusiasm. Viral loops accelerate this process. When a clip gains rapid engagement through shares, comments, and remixes, the algorithm pushes it to wider audiences. If that content features Chinese aesthetics, music, or language, it introduces thousands of new viewers to the trend. Each new interaction strengthens the content's reach, creating a snowball effect that can turn a niche interest into a mainstream topic within days. Short-form video formats enhance the algorithm's efficiency. Because these videos are brief and visually captivating, viewers can consume many in a short session. This high consumption rate generates more behavioral data for the algorithm to analyze. The system quickly identifies patterns in user preferences and fine-tunes recommendations accordingly, sustaining continuous exposure to similar cultural content. Hashtags also contribute to amplification. Creators use targeted tags to categorize their content, making it easier for algorithms to connect videos to interested audiences. When a specific hashtag begins trending, more creators adopt it to join the wave. This collective participation strengthens visibility and reinforces the sense of a shared digital movement. Recommendation systems extend beyond one platform. A user who watches Chinese drama clips on TikTok might receive related music suggestions on YouTube or playlist recommendations on streaming apps. This cross-platform reinforcement creates a cohesive digital ecosystem. The trend becomes difficult to ignore because it appears across multiple digital spaces simultaneously. Engagement-driven comments and debates further boost visibility. When viewers discuss cultural appreciation, authenticity, or favorite series, they increase interaction metrics. Algorithms interpret this as meaningful engagement and continue promoting the content. In this way, both positive reactions and constructive debates contribute to the trend's expansion. However, algorithmic amplification can also create echo chambers. Users may be exposed primarily to content that confirms their growing interest, limiting exposure to alternative perspectives. This dynamic highlights the importance of intentional exploration beyond automated recommendations. Balanced consumption encourages a broader and more nuanced understanding of culture. Content creators have learned to strategically adapt to algorithm behavior. They design visually compelling openings, use trending sounds, and post consistently to maintain momentum. Understanding platform mechanics becomes almost as important as the cultural topic itself. This strategic awareness shapes how Chinamaxxing content is produced and distributed. Influencers and content creators have been crucial in popularizing the Chinamaxxing trend in the United States. Young Americans often first encounter Chinese culture through short, engaging videos posted by these digital personalities. Whether showcasing drama reactions, fashion transformations, or language lessons, influencers act as guides, introducing their followers to cultural elements in an entertaining and relatable way. Their credibility and relatability encourage audiences to explore the trend more deeply. TikTok and Instagram creators often combine education with entertainment. For example, influencers might explain the symbolism behind a Hanfu costume, demonstrate a Tai Chi movement, or teach a Mandarin phrase while performing a popular challenge. This blend of fun and learning makes cultural content more approachable, motivating viewers to interact with, replicate, and share it. YouTube vloggers provide more detailed explorations of Chinamaxxing. They produce full-length videos reviewing Chinese dramas, analyzing music videos, or visiting Chinese restaurants and markets. These videos allow audiences to immerse themselves in cultural contexts that short clips cannot fully capture. The depth of content gives the trend credibility and encourages sustained engagement rather than fleeting attention. Collaborations between creators amplify reach. Influencers may participate in challenges together, react to each other's content, or co-host discussions about Chinese culture. These partnerships expand audiences across different follower bases, introducing new viewers to the trend and creating a sense of a connected community around Chinamaxxing. The authenticity of influencers also matters. Creators who genuinely engage with the culture, visiting China, learning Mandarin, or practicing traditional arts resonate more strongly with followers. Their enthusiasm is perceived as genuine, which strengthens trust and motivates audiences to adopt similar interests or behaviors. Micro-influencers, those with smaller but highly engaged audiences, play a special role. Their niche focus allows for more personal interaction with followers, including responding to questions, giving recommendations, and encouraging participation in challenges. This one-on-one connection can transform passive viewers into active trend participants. Influencers also use trends like Chinamaxxing to introduce their audiences to cross-cultural experiences. For example, a creator might link a favorite C-pop song to a dance tutorial, then show a food recipe inspired by the artist's hometown. This multi-layered approach makes cultural engagement holistic, connecting fashion, music, food, and language in a single narrative. The feedback loop between influencers and audiences drives innovation in content. Comments and user-generated reactions guide creators to produce more of what resonates, whether it's a makeup tutorial, a historical drama review, or a Tai Chi demonstration. This interactive cycle ensures the trend evolves with audience interests, maintaining relevance over time. Influencers often highlight cultural nuances and historical context to avoid superficial representation. By explaining symbolism in costumes, rituals, or storylines, they educate viewers while entertaining them. This approach fosters respect for Chinese culture and encourages mindful participation rather than mere imitation. Online communities have become central to sustaining the Chinamaxxing trend in the United States. Social media platforms, Discord servers, Reddit threads, and fan forums allow enthusiasts to gather, discuss, and share content related to Chinese culture. These spaces create a sense of belonging, where members feel part of a global movement exploring dramas, fashion, music, language, and traditional practices together. Discussion threads often focus on drama reviews, music reactions, or fashion tips inspired by Chinese aesthetics. Members exchange recommendations, analyze plot points, or provide cultural context. This peer-to-peer interaction deepens knowledge and encourages participants to engage actively rather than consume content passively. Fan art and creative projects are another form of engagement. Users produce illustrations, edits, and videos inspired by Chinese shows or cultural motifs. These creations are widely shared across platforms, creating a feedback loop where audience creativity fuels further content, strengthening the sense of a collaborative cultural movement. Language practice is a common focus in communities. Groups dedicated to Mandarin learning allow users to exchange phrases, correct each other, and provide real-time feedback. This practical engagement connects the digital trend to tangible skills, transforming casual interest into meaningful personal development. Event-based engagement, such as virtual watch parties or themed challenges, encourages group participation. Members synchronize their viewing of a drama episode or coordinate a cultural challenge on TikTok. These collective activities amplify excitement and foster shared experiences, making the trend more interactive and memorable. Memes and humor play a vital role in community cohesion. Shared jokes, relatable reactions, and playful edits strengthen social bonds among fans. Humor makes cultural content accessible and encourages casual participation, lowering barriers for newcomers while reinforcing community identity. Communities also discuss cultural sensitivity and appreciation. Members remind each other to respect traditions, understand historical context, and avoid stereotypes. These conversations promote responsible engagement, balancing enthusiasm with respect for the source culture. Collaborative projects, such as fansub dramas or translated lyrics, demonstrate the practical impact of these communities. Volunteers contribute time and skill to make content accessible for non-Mandarin speakers, expanding the trend's reach and fostering inclusivity. Feedback loops within communities guide content creation. Popular posts, polls, and discussions inform creators about what resonates most with audiences. This interactive dynamic ensures that Chinamaxxing content evolves with the interests and values of its community, keeping the trend vibrant and relevant. The Chinamaxxing trend has begun to reshape how many young Americans perceive China. Exposure to Chinese dramas, music, fashion, and traditions through social media offers a more nuanced perspective than mainstream news coverage. Instead of seeing China solely through political or economic lenses, audiences encounter rich cultural, artistic, and historical dimensions, humanizing the country in ways that traditional media rarely achieve. Through storytelling in dramas, viewers engage with themes of loyalty, honor, and resilience. These universal values resonate across cultures, fostering empathy and understanding. Fans often discuss character motivations and plot intricacies in online forums, reflecting a deeper intellectual engagement with the culture beyond surface-level entertainment. Fashion and aesthetics also contribute to reshaping perceptions. By experimenting with hanfu, traditional hairstyles, or modern Chinese streetwear, young Americans develop an appreciation for creativity and cultural expression. This hands-on engagement makes cultural experiences tangible, reinforcing positive associations with Chinese heritage. Music, particularly C-pop and drama soundtracks, introduces audiences to contemporary Chinese youth culture. Fans experience emotional expression, artistic innovation, and storytelling that challenge stereotypes. Viral dance challenges and collaborative videos demonstrate shared global interests, portraying China as culturally dynamic rather than distant or foreign. Food culture has a similar effect. Learning about regional cuisines, cooking traditional recipes, and visiting Chinese restaurants fosters curiosity and appreciation. Taste, smell, and preparation rituals create intimate cultural experiences, giving Americans direct sensory insight into daily life in China. Martial arts and traditional wellness practices further enhance understanding. Tai Chi, Kung Fu, and philosophical teachings emphasize discipline, mindfulness, and resilience. Engaging with these practices promotes respect for historical traditions and demonstrates the continuity of cultural heritage in modern contexts. Language learning strengthens the cultural connection. As young Americans study Mandarin, they gain access to original texts, lyrics, and dialogues, deepening comprehension and reducing reliance on translations. Language bridges the gap between curiosity and meaningful understanding. Fan communities and influencers play a role in shaping perception. Thoughtful content creators highlight cultural context, symbolism, and historical accuracy, guiding audiences toward informed appreciation. Discussions around cultural sensitivity teach respect and nuance, preventing superficial or stereotypical impressions. This multifaceted exposure has measurable social impact. Many participants report feeling more globally minded, curious, and open to cross-cultural exchange. The trend subtly counters xenophobia or misinformation by emphasizing shared human experiences, creative expression, and cultural depth. As Chinamaxxing continues to grow in the United States, questions arise about its long-term impact on cultural exchange. What began as a viral social media trend has evolved into sustained curiosity about Chinese art, language, fashion, and philosophy. Observers speculate whether this movement will remain a passing trend or develop into a lasting cross-cultural phenomenon that influences lifestyles, education, and creative expression for years to come. One possibility is that Chinamaxxing could inspire a new generation of bilingual and culturally aware Americans. With increased interest in Mandarin, history, and philosophy, young people may integrate these skills into education, careers, and personal growth. Over time, this knowledge could foster deeper cross-cultural collaboration in business, arts, and global initiatives. The entertainment industry may continue to play a pivotal role. Streaming platforms, international collaborations, and social media content can sustain momentum by providing access to Chinese films, series, and music. As algorithms and recommendation engines promote related content, audiences may encounter increasingly diverse cultural narratives, expanding their understanding beyond stereotypes. Fashion and aesthetics will likely remain influential. Traditional and contemporary Chinese styles may continue to inspire clothing, cosplay, and artistic projects. As trends evolve, creators may blend cultural elements with personal expression, producing hybrid styles that resonate globally. This could lead to new subcultures that celebrate fusion rather than imitation. Food culture also has long-term potential. Culinary curiosity may translate into broader appreciation for regional cuisines, cooking techniques, and dining rituals. Increased patronage of Chinese restaurants, food festivals, and cooking workshops can turn initial social media fascination into lasting habits that enrich cultural literacy. Martial arts and wellness practices provide another avenue for long-term influence. Tai Chi, Kung Fu, and meditation practices could become more widely adopted for physical and mental health benefits. These practices not only preserve cultural traditions but also integrate them into contemporary lifestyles, creating practical and meaningful connections. Community-driven engagement will continue to be essential. Online forums, fan groups, and collaborative projects foster participation, creativity, and knowledge sharing. These networks ensure that Chinamaxxing evolves collectively, with audiences shaping the trend rather than merely following it. The participatory model strengthens sustainability. Challenges remain, including the risk of cultural superficiality or misrepresentation. However, growing awareness of cultural sensitivity and authenticity among creators and fans can mitigate these risks. Mindful participation ensures the trend respects its roots while remaining innovative and engaging for global audiences. Technological advances, including AI-generated content, virtual reality experiences, and global streaming access, may accelerate cultural exchange. Future iterations of Chinamaxxing could allow users to explore immersive cultural experiences, from virtual historical tours to interactive language learning, blending entertainment with education on an unprecedented scale. Chinamaxxing's future appears promising as both a cultural trend and a bridge for global understanding. By combining entertainment, education, creativity, and participation, it has the potential to foster lasting cross-cultural appreciation. If nurtured responsibly, this digital phenomenon could shape a generation of culturally literate, globally aware Americans, demonstrating the power of social media to influence real-world knowledge and empathy.